gambling.
Where are you going? Hey! Where are you going?
The thrill of leaving things to chance, putting up something you have to potentially get something in return, something more. It's awesome, in moderation. Can't stress that enough, in moderation. Never gamble with anything that you cannot afford to lose. That's the old adage. It applies whether you go to the casino, or the casino. This is one of the many reasons I love trading card games like Magic the Gathering. The excitement of top-decking the solution to all of your problems is sublime. It's also why I love tabletop RPGs, gambling with storytelling and the successes and failures of my character with the roll of the dice. Video games have many ways of gambling in them, some being a part of the gameplay design, and some being outright egregious slot machines for children's games.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Gambling is exciting and fun, but if done irresponsibly, it can lead to downright terrifying situations and cost you something that you thought you could part with, but in losing it, you are left empty and aimless, sometimes costing you your very life or your livelihood. In the last year, 2 games came out that dove into the joys and horrors of gambling, and I've had a lot of fun with them recently. And as an added bonus, they won't cost you anything more than the price of admission. Buckshot Roulette. Of course I'm going to start with the horror game. I see you, Mr. Algorithm. I see you. A wonderful spin on the first gun-oriented YOLO simulator. Russian Roulette. A game of odds with a gun, typically a revolver, loaded in a random order with empty chambers or live rounds. And 2 people unfortunate enough to have to try their luck. Buckshot Roulette exchanges the revolver for a shotgun, throws a demon into the mix, introduces items that can affect the players and the shotgun in various ways, and has some very talented and most likely magical underworld surgeons on site to keep you in the game as long as you haven't run out of tallies on the scoreboard. Everything in the game is up to chance, including what items you and the dealer get. That guy with the golden smile over there, that's right. That's the dealer. So what's the setup? The game opens up in a seedy nightclub bathroom. You step out onto the club balcony and there's an absolute banger of a track playing. There's one solemn looking individual smoking a cigarette looking over the balcony who never acknowledges you, no matter how long you stand and stare and whisper sweet nothings into their... Eventually you build up the courage or stupidity. Stupidity? Wow, English is a hard language, guys. Eventually you build up the courage or the stupidity to kick down the door before you that leads to an office with this creature inside. It understands why you're here. It asks you to sign a waiver, and it gets right into the game. It loads the shotgun in a randomized order, then hands it to you. Then it hits you. Oh God, I'm doing this. You do some quick probability math and try your luck. The odds are in your favor, so you turn the gun on yourself first and pull the trigger. And just like that, if this were real, your life would have come to its sudden and unfortunate end. Everything you thought you were doing this for would have been damned and deemed worthless in the wake of your time being cut short. In this moment of clarity, you come to realize that some currencies should never be wantonly gambled away, especially time. It's a good thing this is a game. You're back in the club. The game isn't done with you yet. It's the dealer's turn. He recognizes that the gun is empty. He gleefully turns the gun on himself twice and pulls the trigger. The round ends. The dealer's smile piercing through the thick smoke of the darkened office. You can't leave now. You bet your life and you sign the waiver. The only way out is through. The dealer loads the gun. You have to try again. This time it starts putting items into the mix. You play another round this time. You successfully shoot the dealer. It seems unaffected. It loads the gun again. You get your items, but this time another person's waiver comes out of the box. It appears to have been signed by God himself, presumably having played and lost, which has some frightening implications. You are locked into the game, and God cannot help you. This game evokes so much stress and tension in the player that gets cashed in with every pulling of the trigger. The shock of the gun going off never fails to affect me, making me jump. This experience has done jump scares very well. The horror that sets in when you are confident that the odds dictate that you will most likely shoot the demon, only to hear that terrifying truly makes your heart sink. It is a very simple but very effective game, and it costs just under $4 Canadian. So, you could offer up like a small handful of raspberries in the US and that'd probably cover it. So give it a shot, pun intended. Balatro. Boy, oh boy, has this game dominated my very small amounts of free time that I've had recently. Help. A poker-themed deck-building roguelike game that throws as much gambling into it as it possibly can, while also promoting strategy. Much like other deck-building games like DC Deck Building, where you find out your strategy as you play the game, Balatro, while being a game about gambling, requires a great deal of thought and strategy. There is no story to wax poetic about here. It's just a game that offers so much fun and so much replayability that it will keep you busy for hours. Let's quickly talk about how this thing works. You start with a pre-made deck of cards. Most of the time, it's the traditional 52 cards from aces to kings. However, in this game, aces score high but can be played low and high for the purposes of a straight. Low and high meaning either as a 1 or as above a king, as the highest rank. But we'll get into that in a minute. So you get a deck of cards and you need to score enough points, highlighted here to proceed to the next round. You score points by playing poker hands that have a starting score and a multiplier assigned to them. Here they are from the least valuable to the most powerful. High card, just scoring the highest ranking card in an incongruent set when no other hand is available. Pair, 2 cards of a matching rank. 2 pair, 2 matching sets of 2 different ranks. 3 of a kind, a set of 3 cards of the same rank. Straight, 5 cards in sequential order that are not the same suit. Flush, 5 cards of any rank that are the same suit. Full house, 3 cards with a matching rank and 2 cards with any other matching rank with cards from 2 or more suits. 4 of a kind, 4 cards with a matching rank of any suit. Straight flush, 5 cards in sequential order of rank that are all the same suit. Royal flush, an ace high straight formed by playing ace, king, queen, jack, 10 all of the same suit. Now normally, that would be the end of the poker hands. But this is Balatro, and we can change the nature of our very deck by adding more cards, turning cards into other cards, removing cards from the deck, and more. These functions open up the secret poker hands. These hands are 5 of a kind, which is 5 cards of all the same rank with different suits. Flush house, 3 cards of the same rank and 2 cards of the same rank, all from a single suit. And finally, the legendary flush 5.
Oh, legendary!
5 cards of the same rank of the same suit. So there's lots to consider in terms of structuring your deck around poker hands, but then you need to factor in the jokers and the vouchers. Purchasable buffs that can affect everything from the cards in your hand to the amount of money you make per round, that can be sold or destroyed for various purposes. Jokers have rarities and are either purchasable in the shop with the money you earn between rounds, or obtainable by purchasing booster packs. More gambling. Vouchers are more general buffs, and are unlike the variety of niches that Jokers can buff. Unlike Jokers, once purchased, vouchers cannot be lost or destroyed or sold. However, only one shows up per ante, typically. More gambling. There are also booster packs for what are called planet cards. These cards are all associated with the poker hands, and upon activating them, level up the hands to increase the point values and multiplier values of those hands. More gambling. There are also booster packs called arcane and spectral cards, which yield cards that can manipulate the cards in your hand or deck, buff your jokers, give you money, and more. More gambling. There's also the skip bonuses, which are random every time, which if you choose to skip an assigned small or big blind, you get the associated buff, but these buffs are random. More Horror gambling! This game scratches my itch to want to go buy Magic the Gathering booster packs without having to spend real money, which as somebody who is not rich, thank you Balatro developers, I appreciate you so much, and so does my wallet. Do you see how much money they're charging for Magic the Gathering booster packs right now? What the fuck am I looking at? So you gamble with your cards, your jokers, the way you can manipulate your deck, the boss level challenges you will be forced to face, what will show up in the shop, and more, all in pursuit of more points and the satisfying noises of numbers going up. One of the most exciting pursuits in this life is, unequivocally speaking, big number. If you really think about it, most things in life can be attributed to big number. There are certain areas where big number is bad, but for the most part, big number good, big number fun, big number exciting. Let's briefly talk strategy. Similar to auto chess games like Teamfight Tactics, there is an interest banking system. For every $5 you hold on to, you earn an extra dollar at the end of each round to a max of 5, unless you increase this number somehow, which is possible. Managing your finances is part 1 of strategy in this game, so that you can afford things in the shop. Part 2 is learning when to skip rounds to gain benefits instead of getting more money the traditional way. This usually involves a gamble of some sort, but if it pays off, it pays off. Part 3 of strategy is considering these options while also trying to thread the needle on what kind of build you are going for and finding a way to transition your early game build into your late game build. It doesn't sound like much, but with all of the gambling thrown in, every run is special. The way that Balatro introduces chance in so many ways, and yet it still feels like a game that gives you enough control to feel like you have a significant effect on how the game will go, is just impressive. It's just, how'd you do that? It is a profoundly satisfying game to play. It is so addicting, and it is definitely worth your time. I can't stop playing it. Please help. Hello. Thank you so much for watching the video. It means the most. Have you played Balatro? Have you played Buckshot Roulette? Do you enjoy playing games of chance? If so, name your favorite. If not, fair enough. What did you think of the video? If you liked it, give it a like, and maybe subscribe. I make videos fairly consistently. It takes me a bit, but it's fairly consistent. And if you do like and subscribe, know that I am wishing you good fortune on your next booster box opening, your next booster pack, your next dice roll in D&D, whatever. I'm giving you an unofficial inspiration. I'm wishing you luck. So a long time ago, I said this. And you actually inspired me to write my own horror short film, which I hope to be making in the next year or so. And the reason this video took so long, well, there's several reasons, but the main one is because all of the writing that I have been doing has been focused on this short film. I got a script. I wrote 12 drafts. On top of writing it, I've also made a shot list for it, as I plan on being involved in some way in the direction of it. I have no idea when I'll be able to make this thing, but boy is it exciting and terrifying. Also, hey, quick question. You ever said something that is aged like milk? If Arrowhead plays their cards right, I am certain that this game will have the momentum to be the grounds to hold one of the most legendary gaming events in history. I was gonna make a video on this, but I might just get the rant out now, seeing as we're here. Sony execs, in their infinite wisdom, really posed the question, why would we do nothing to this game and keep making untold millions of dollars when we could make most of the world unable to play it and lose money? I have so many angry thoughts on this, but to keep it as short and as polite as I can, Helldivers 2 just makes me sad now. And once again, the corporate snake people who are so obsessed with making money show once again that they have absolutely no idea how to make it, because they don't understand that returning customers are what makes you money, and customers are humans, and humans, they have these weird things that are called feelings. It's tragic, man. It's fucking tragic. I just feel terrible for Arrowhead. They put so many years into this game, and it's a fantastic game. Sony just, God. What else has happened? Minor health issues, working a lot. I had my birthday. Yes, I'm still old. So, you know, life stuff. Overall, pretty good. I hope that you have all been well. Let me know down in the comments, I read all of them. With all that said, I will sign off. Thank you again so much for watching. I can't convey how much it means. Please stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.